to take a piece of fabric and gather it. Your serger can handle lightweight fabrics, so cotton, shears, georgettes, all those lightweight, nice fabrics. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your stitch length and increase it to the longest setting. Of course, depending on how much gathering, you might find a happy medium before you reach to the maximum of 4.0 in stitch length. And then we take our differential feed and take it up to 2.0. So there we go. And then as you gather, we're just going to gather on a single layer. And we're going to just let the serger pull it in. Now, if you hold back on this at all, it's not going to let you pull very much fabric in. So I'm going to just even put my finger behind this serger so that fabric doesn't come out. Now, notice I've kind of got some little fuzzy ends here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of make sure I get a little of that cut off. And the more you kind of let it flow through, so keep as much weight off the front of the fabric as possible, then the more it's going to gather. And you know what this is going to do? Puts that nice overlock edge, and then get something down to a manageable size. So even if you have something you're just kind of taking from like a skirt and then kind of pinning it into maybe a waistband, you can get this kind of started. Plus you've put that overlock edge right along the fabric, so it's not going to unravel anymore. So just to kind of give you an idea, we have gathered, because this was the piece I cut it off, just about, okay, just maybe not a 2-to-1 ratio, but definitely close. And so again, it gets to a nice amount. Now, my favorite tool is actually, or I should say accessory, is actually the gathering foot. So this is purchased separately, but notice what it has. It has this little separation part. Here, let's show it. We will find that we can then gather one piece of fabric onto another because we can separate it. So one will be gathered, the one that goes underneath this, and the one that goes underneath or between them does not touch that feed dog that's doing all the work of pulling all the extra fabric in. So then it stays stationary. All right, I'm going to just give that a little push. We'll take 2 pieces of fabric that are the same. Now, this is batik, so sometimes batik fabrics don't gather as much because they have a little bit of crispness to them. So take the piece you want to gather and put it underneath your presser foot. That is, we're going to get that started. And then the one you want to gather it to, you're going to put, this one's right side up, this one's going to go right side down, and we're going to put it kind of in his mouth. Now, once you get it in there, you might even lift up your presser foot and then slide it in a little further, and then that way, once it takes maybe 1 or 2 stitches more, that will take it in. Now, you have this nice little guide, which is adjustable by this screw, but we'll just kind of keep those fairly kind of running the edges together here. And we have the stitch length still at 4 and the differential feed at 2. I always go to the maximum for my very first run because every fabric is going to handle a little differently. This is actually looking really good. I'm happy with the results. Some batiks are just a little bit, like I said, little bit sturdy, so if that might not happen with you, but you'll notice, whoa, that is actually almost more than a 2-to-1 ratio, just by a hair. Look at that, but look how pretty it is. And you know what, if we had taken the time to roll him this edge before we gathered it, it would be done, because by the way, having to open this up as you roll him, it is kind of takes a long time. So always roll hem your edges or finish your edges before doing any gathering. It'll save you a step for later. Look at that. Awesome. Again, I highly recommend the gathering foot because it's serged, it's overlocked and gathered all at once.